welcome to the Intuitively Wild podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Levine. Living intuitively wild is about coming back home to ourselves. Here, we talk about how to live connected to ourselves, others, and nature, and make a commitment to radical authenticity, vulnerability, and acceptance. On this podcast, we delve into a wide range of topics that span the human experience. We peel back the layers and talk about the things that are often not talked about. This is a space for us all to walk and wander this path of life together. Let's dig into our roots and go deep. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to our monthly ritual episode. This is our time to sit down to create a step-by-step ceremony infused with many different rituals for a specific energy we are moving through in the world right now. And for this month, we are ritualizing the Virgo New Moon. And last month, we did the Leo New Moon. I don't always do new moons. I love new moon energy. This is my new moon. I was born on a Virgo new moon, so I couldn't not do this energy. And also, new moons are just such a perfect time to lean into ceremony, to lean into ritual, because they're all about ritual. They're all about really getting present with what is happening in our life right now and creating a ceremony for that. So I love new moon energy, but I couldn't not do the Virgo new moon. Also, my original intention was to open my space to have my launch event in my in-person space on this Virgo new moon for this Virgo new moon. And unfortunately, that will not be the case because of just timing and all the things that come with putting together a space like this. But I will definitely be still creating a huge ceremony for myself around this Virgo new moon, primarily focused on setting my intentions for the space and really getting clear on how I want to enter this next chapter of my life. So for many reasons, this new moon, this Virgo new moon, holds a lot of meaning for me, and I'm really excited to get into it. It also marks pretty much the start of Virgo season. This new moon happens right at the beginning, and obviously, I love Virgo season. Virgo is, I really do love a lot of the astrological seasons and a lot of that energy, and find a comfort and familiarity and home in many of those different energies. But Virgo is me to my core. I'm the most at home and familiar with Virgo. Not only is Virgo my sun sign, but is also my moon sign, my Mercury sign. So it feels like my core personality, and it also is how I identify and kind of orient myself in the world. And it's also, Virgo energy is the nourishment I need, since it's my moon sign, to feel safe, to feel supported, to feel grounded. And because it's my Mercury, it structures the way I think and communicate and move through the world. So Virgo is me in a lot of different ways. And I do believe I should make a caveat here that I have never said before, and I want to say, which is that I am not an astrologer. Astrology is a part of human design, so I have studied it in that way, but I've never formally studied astrology, nor do I intend to. My intention was sharing anything around astrological concepts, or anytime I talk about astrology, is never to come across as being an astrologer. I have so many amazing astrologers in my life personally who are so well researched and well informed, and I want them to have full credit for the astrology sharing. I honestly don't see myself as sharing astrological knowledge when I do these kinds of when I make these kinds of content, whether it's Substack, podcast, Instagram. Although I guess that's technically what this is. The Leo New Moon would go under that astrology category, but my brain doesn't categorize it like that for myself, because my intention is to share my perspective and intuitive knowing around the energy of the time and the ways in which we are impacted by the many intricacies and layers of the world around us. For me, I see following the moon cycles as part of seasonal living and intentional living, and it's the way I weave witchcraft and magic into my life, the way I follow my priestess path. For me, it's spirituality. It's being intuitive. So this is part of me embracing my Virgo essence also, because Virgo likes structure and stability. She likes schedules and cycles. She likes meaning making and fact checking. She finds safety and regulation within foundational strength and consistent grounding. And that is what the moon cycle does for us. That's what following it and living in alignment with it can do for us. And Virgo is often associated with the Virgin, prioritizing purity and perfection above all else, seeking control and certainty at all costs. And while this can definitely be true, and oh boy, am I very, very, very familiar with that, unlike the other earth signs, Virgo is mutable. She's adaptable, flexible, ready, and willing to change and grow and evolve, and she needs that evolution and diversity. In fact, despite her tendency towards structure, she thrives off of this mutability. And Virgo holds this in-between energy. She's not the peak of summer, but she's not yet autumn. We're still sucking all the life and presence we can out of summer while finally feeling the need and that pull to prepare for fall. Honestly, she's both. She's neither. She's all of it. And I resonate deeply with that as well. And she shows us how to be present while also moving forward. She shows us how to walk through the world with grace, compassion, and thoughtfulness. She shows us what it means to be prepared in a way that truly nourishes and supports us. And this feels so vital to my essence, finding support and structure in being so super present and using that presence to prepare. And this year, pretty much all of Virgo season falls under the Lunisad portal, and Lunisad created a whole Substack around that, which I will link to. It falls on August 1st specifically, but the time frame kind of goes up until the autumnal equinox, which is September 22nd or 23rd. Can't remember the exact date this year. We will circle back to that. But Lunisad, I won't go into all the details here because that's not what this episode is about. And like I said, I did create a whole Substack on that. But it is the moment in between the summer solstice and the autumn equinox. So while the autumn equinox is the moment between the summer solstice and the winter solstice, this balance period, Lunisad's the in-between of the in-between. It's all about reveling in the abundance, gratitude, and nourishment that the earth is providing for us right now, and planning how that abundance is going to support us in the next season when we get to winter. And so Virgo asks us to show up for life open, ready, willing, to walk through the world with open eyes, seeing what needs to be seen, no blinders on. And while Virgo can be known for being very nitpicky and perhaps judgmental, especially of the self, and really detail-oriented and maybe even to a critical degree, I really see it when used in the aligned way as just seeing the world as it is. Seeing a layer deeper than other people might see. Seeing the details that other people might miss. And when we can use that in a healthy way, being really open to the world. Really seeing people for who they are. And seeing beneath the words and beneath the appearances shown. This first Virgo New Moon, because there is another one in September, meets us at the beginning of Virgo season, like I was saying, and it's right as we wave goodbye to Leo energy and what she brought to us. And something that living in alignment with the seasons and these cycles of earth, of nature, is it reminds us that nothing in life exists as a vacuum. Each sign, each season comes after the next for a reason, with intention and impact. It's a cycle, an interconnected relationship that builds off of each other step by step. So Virgo comes after Leo for a reason, and we build off of that. So Leo season shone the spotlight on our lives. It helped us see where we may be hiding, where we need to show up, and in what areas of our lives we are being asked to lead, and to do it all with heart, courage, and our head held high. And with that knowledge that we've learned in Leo season, Virgo now asks us to stay connected to that, to take all that we learned and to continue to show up in the world in that way, and directing our energy towards leading our lives with pure intentions, to have integrity, to walk through the world with grace and compassion. Because Virgo is, I think many people would agree with me, is that she's not really seen as the virgin anymore. I picture Virgo as the earth goddess. Her feet are roots connecting her deeply to the earth, and those roots allow her to maintain support, guidance, and wisdom. And through those roots runs nourishment, ensuring that Virgo is never depleted or self-sacrificing as long as she stays connected and present. From that place, Virgo walks out into the world. And from that place, she's ready to pour her heart and energy into others to support them in creating their roots, their unending nourishment and foundation. Because Virgo is here to be of service, but never at the detriment of serving herself. And this Virgo new moon is asking us to question the ways we seek control and certainty, to question what we think is perfect or the right way of doing things, and to get curious about our tendencies to self-sabotage or self-sacrifice, to watch our judgment about our own messy imperfections and humanness. The word imperfect basically says, I'm perfect. And I actually have a tattoo on my back that says imperfect, and it's in my own handwriting, and I wanted it that way for a reason, because my own human handwriting is imperfect. And it really is a reminder to myself, branded on my skin, that I am imperfect. And that is the part of what makes me perfectly me. Because I lived so much of my Virgo life striving for perfection, expecting to be seen as perfect. And anything less meant failure, especially if other people perceived me as anything less. And now I have branded myself, like I said, and revealing my truth to the whole world that I am imperfect. And it's one of my favorite tattoos. It's a really important one to me. This new moon is asking us to release the need to have all the answers. She is showing us we can still feel safe and supported even when life feels unclear, uncertain, messy, and imperfect. If you listened to my reflection and intention setting episode of the month, you will know that this is really relevant to the phase of life I'm in right now. And there's no coincidence around that. Virgo is in the South Node right now. And the South Node is what when it's in the South Node in the world, it's what we all are collectively releasing right now. So Virgo in the South Node means that we are releasing this need for perfection, this need for control and clarity. And so we're all embracing this energy even more so than just at this particular moment. And I want you to enter your Virgo new moon ceremony and rituals with this mind frame, allowing for the imperfections, honoring the uncertainty, celebrating the mess, basking in the truth of what it means to be human. I think we've gotten so comfortable with hiding behind screens and using technology to cover everything up that we expect ourselves to be picture perfect all the time, to be pretty much inhuman. And Virgo energy reminds us of what it means to truly be a goddess. which is about embracing the messiness. Nature is messy. Nature is imperfect. And yet nature is everything. She is so powerful. And that is what channeling Virgo energy is. And a ceremony is a perfectly suited activity for a Virgo. Structured, transformative, intentional, healing, done in reverence. So really keep that in mind when you are performing your ceremony. Take extra space and extra care in setting up your space. Find a ceremonial space that feels safe and grounding and nourishing, and decorate it with love. Plan for your ceremony, put it on your schedule. Virgos love a schedule. They love structure. They love a list. There's one thing I love, it's a list. And so put this ceremony on your schedule, or put the rituals that you want to do for this time on your schedule, on your to-do list. Not in a way that is going to make you feel restricted or in control, but in a way that's going to feel really nourishing, because you have that foundational structure, because you've made the space and you've made that promise and devotion to yourself. Protect this time, protect this ceremony, protect these rituals with the energy of steadfast devotion and unwavering commitment that Virgo provides us. Really, above all, let your Virgo ceremony and rituals nourish you. It's not about doing them perfectly. It's not about having it all together. It's not about how they look. It's about how they feel, and allowing your ceremony, your rituals to do that for you will ultimately be what connects you to that Virgo energy and bleed into the rest of your life. And when you take this time and make this space to nourish yourself in this way, you can enter this next chapter of your life ready, with your feet rooted to the earth and your heart cracked wide open. So that is what I want you to keep in mind when you are creating your ceremony. And once you have put it on your schedule and set the stage, we are going to create our altar. And again, just a reminder, you can do this as all at once as a ceremony for yourself, or you can do this in little bits and pieces here and there, create little rituals to work in and weave into your daily life, whatever feels good for you. I recommend, I'm going to link on Friday, the Substack accompaniment to this podcast will be coming out. And so I will share the Substack link below. And I recommend reading through it all and listening to this whole podcast, and then deciding how you want to structure this time for yourself, getting any tools you might need, or figuring out the timing you might need, so that you can plan it all and prepare for it all, and then be really fully present when you decide to do whatever ceremony or rituals you decide to do. Okay, let us go through our altar suggestions. So for our altar, as always, we are going to have all the elements present, and we will start with air. So my suggestion is to pick your favorite incense and set an intention while lighting it, and move around your ceremonial space or your home in general to clear the air of any stuck, stagnant, or stale energy. And as you do so, you can imagine yourself shedding old skin, releasing beliefs or identities that are holding you back or leading to self-sabotage. Because something Virgo definitely can do is attach to identities, attach to any way of grasping onto control and certainty. And so when we light our incense and allow for that all to shed, we can return back to the roots of who we are and the truth of who we are. So let this also be a way of you setting the scene, setting the energy, really stepping into that Virgo portal, that Virgo energy, and letting the rest go, letting it all fall away. And then we have fire. So Virgo, they're highly observant and particular, and they like things how they like them. I like things how I like them. And also in human design, my strongest sense is scent. So I really resonate with having candles for particular moods. So choose a candle scent that is perfectly suited to your particularities in this season you are in. And while lighting your candle, set your intentions and then let that candle follow you throughout this chapter of your life. So if possible, start a new candle or just one that you will be able to light more regularly. So then as a regular ritual after this ceremony, you can light this candle to remind you of your intentions, whether that's every day or every week or every time you come to your altar, every time you open your journal, whatever feels good for you. And when the candle is finally done, trust that your intentions that you set are embedded into your being and supported by Mother Earth. They are happening. They are being taken care of. Okay. And then for our earth element, we want to find some dirt. You can go to a garden store or whatever is accessible to you and buy dirt, or you can go outside and grab a handful of dirt. Like literally just go into the woods, go into your flower pot, whatever feels good, just grab your dirt. Either way, once dirt is procured, get your hands dirty. Even if you go to the garden store, then reach into that bag and take a handful of dirt. Literally grab a handful of dirt and get some mud under your skin. Embrace the messiness and see what the Virgo energy brings up for you here. Is there resistance? Does it feel regulating? Does it bring you peace? Does it bring you panic? Get curious and pay attention. I know for me, the Virgo energy panics at the mess and yet relishes in the earth's touch. So anytime I'm getting messy out in nature, I feel a combination of anxiety and ease. And then you're going to place this dirt in a bowl and bring it to your altar. And we're combining this with our water element. So when we come to water, I invite you to find whatever water source is available or calling to you and leave it out for a night or two before the new moon to let it bask in the energy. And then in ceremony or when you are ready, pour the water over your dirt while stating your intentions. And perhaps focus your intentions around releasing the need for control, for certainty, for perfection. And then mix the two together and watch them create something new. You can get really witchy with this and really make it like a cauldron, pour your wishes into it, whatever feels good for you. Or you can just see it as clay, see it as molding of the earth, but reflect on the mutability of earth and your willingness to lean into that energy. Reflect on your comfortability with change. And then leave this on your altar to remind you of your intentions. And then lastly, spirit. So the spirit energy we are connecting with for this time is Mother Nature. And I mean, we've already done that through grabbing the dirt, but I want you to go outside and have a conversation with her. See what she wants to say to you. If this feels challenging to you, you can write a letter to her and ask her, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call her, what do you have to tell me? How can I deepen my relationship with you? You can even go without any questions and just write stream of consciousness, or you can say, Dear Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and just make promises to her. Either way, end your letter with a promise to Mother Earth that you are going to uphold, whether that's I promise to pay attention, I promise to recycle, whatever it feels right for you. Make a promise. Virgos love promises. They stick to their promises. And then leave this letter on your altar as a reminder. Okay, so we have our altar all set up. And that in and of itself, first of all, each one of those is a different ritual, and that can be the whole ceremony. That can be its own rituals in that you weave into this whole month. This can take you however long you want it to. This can be as simple or as intricate as you want. We also then next have our herbal companions, and usually you might notice that I do 2 to 3, sometimes 4. You know, there's never anything specific, no rules to it. But for this ceremony, we are focusing on just one herbal companion. And I chose yarrow. Yarrow I love yarrow, and she's so, so beautiful. Yarrow is a wildflower that soothes any reactivity in our body, mind, and spirit. She's known as the protector and warrior plant, here to soften your spirit and strengthen your roots. She's the perfect Virgo ally because she reminds us that even wildflowers growing freely, unrestricted, and uncontrollable are grounded, steady, and deeply rooted. Virgo, even being the structured queen she is wild and free. She holds us in resilience through all of life's unexpected twists and turns, and yarrow allows us to lean into that. And yarrow reminds us we always have our center to return to amidst all the chaos of life right now. Virgo season is the perfect time to really hone in on the details, so going deep with one plant allows us to do that. And you can weave her into your life as much as possible in whatever way feels good. It really depends what your comfortability is, what your interest is, what your energy capacity is. You can research her, meditate with her, talk to her. You can drink her, lather her on your body, put her in your bath. And I guess this also depends on accessibility. If you want help finding a way to utilize yarrow or source yarrow, please reach out to me. I can definitely help you with that. You can take her as medicine under your tongue, such as in a tincture, or place her in a vase on your altar if you have access to the flowering wildflower of yarrow. Whatever witchy, woo-woo, grounded, practical ways it feels right to work with her, do so. That is another thing about Virgo. She is witchy and woo-woo, and she's also grounded and practical. Okay, and now for our yoga therapy tools. So as always, my suggestion is to get your altar to set up your ceremonial space, really establish that grounding foundational energy, have your herbal companion, use her during the ceremony, and then utilize her as often as possible after the ceremony, and then move on to your yoga therapy tools. So our first is a 4-part breath. And this breath will allow you to find your foundation. As you can maybe tell, I'm really highlighting and emphasizing finding your foundation because Virgo thrives on that. Once Virgo feels foundationally rooted, she feels safe to go out into the world. And this breath reminds us that we find deep nourishment and sustainable abundance when we allow ourselves to find balance, to be present with the ebbs, flows, and moments in between. And I'm going to give my suggestions below, but feel free to try different counts out until you find a breath count that works for you. The 4-part breath is about inhaling, holding the inhale, exhale, holding the exhale, and then repeating. So my suggestion is to breathe in for a count of 4, hold at the top for a count of 2, exhale for a count of 6, hold for a count of 2, and then inhale again and repeat for at least 5 rounds, although you can do this as long as feels good for you, as often as feels good for you. You do not want your breath, you don't want it to feel like you're gasping for breath or like you are struggling to breathe in any way. So find a breath that feels easeful, that does feel nourishing, that does feel grounded. You should finish your breath. When you're finally done, exhale, let it all out, and return to your normal breathing, and you should feel calm. You should feel regulated. So if the breath count is not giving that to you, then just refresh, start again, try a new count, and see what works for you. Once you have done that, we're going to move into what I called wildcat cows. I'm sure someone has given this a different name, but I like this name, especially for the sake of what we are using it for. And I think it creates a good visual. So many of us are familiar with traditional cow asanas. That's when you're on all fours on the ground. And with your breath, you inhale or exhale, really, it doesn't really matter. But on your inhale, you reach your head to the sky and kind of bring a crescent moon shape to your back. And then on your exhale, you round your back like a cow and bring your chin to your chest. So this posture does have some structure and repetition to it. And I want you to move with that for a couple of rounds and feel that repetition in your body, feel that structure in your body, and see how that feels. And then when you are ready, allow this movement to transform. Allow your body to move however it wants to in this moment. Do not think it through at all. Just breathe and move. Let your body release the structure, the control, the perfection, and performance, and instead just be wild. You can literally turn this into whatever you want. If this turns into a dance party, beautiful. If this turns into lying on Shavasana, on the ground, beautiful. Find where your body naturally wants to take you and just get out of your mind and let it be wild and free. That is... Oh! Theo had something to say about that. Okay. Once you have finished your wild cat cows, return back to stillness. Maybe come back to that 4-part breath if that feels good for you, or just come into a grounded seat and grab your journal, and we're going to move into our reflections. So I'll read out our questions, but again, these will be written out in the Substack. So if you want to refer to them there, please head there. But our reflection questions. What did Leo season shine a light on for you? What did you learn from this last cycle? What makes you feel grounded, safe, nourished? What is your relationship like with self-service and community service? How do you feel called to show up for yourself right now? How do you feel called to show up for others right now? What is your relationship like with purity, with perfection, with control, with certainty? What is your relationship like with nature, with nourishment, with structure? What do you need to do to feel prepared for the next season of your life? So sit with those questions. And again, there's no set rules or right or wrong way to do this. You can focus on one question. You can do all of them. You can do 2 or 3 of them. You can use them to create your own questions. These are just guides and perhaps some inspiration and a start to begin. But let it take you where it needs to go. And ultimately, our reflections are leading us. The goal is to get to a place of processing, to process whatever has been coming up for you in this last season, to ground into what's coming up for you right now and how that informs you for moving forward, and give yourself a good chunk of time here. Really just allow yourself to write and write and write. And again, if this is the only part of the ritual you do, the ceremony you do, that's perfect. But let that lead you into your intention. So after you have finished journaling or discussing the reflection questions, you can always voice note yourself or call up a friend, however it feels good. We're going to move to our intentions. So what has this ceremony revealed to you around how you want to show up in your life moving forward? And this is the time to make some promises to yourself. How are you going to support yourself moving forward? How are you going to support others? How are you releasing the need for control? How are you allowing for imperfections? How are you preparing for what's ahead with presence? How are you prioritizing nourishment, stability, and grounding? And then from there, write out promises to yourself. A couple sentences. Write out your promises as a declaration, a self-devotion, a heart-open prayer. This is a way of embodying the Leo lessons you've learned and being a leader in your own life. Get specific, get detailed, get structured and organized. Make sure that these serve and suit you. Again, not doing what you think is the right, not making the promises you think are perfect or right or anything other than what actually is going to nourish and sustain and support you. And if there's one thing about a Virgo, she stays devoted to her promises. So whatever you need to do to devote yourself to those promises, put it in your schedule, create some structure, put it on your altar, whatever you need to do, just devote yourself to these promises. Theo agrees. I hope you allow this ceremony to be exactly what you need it to. I hope you make this space to create this ceremony for yourself. I hope you weave these rituals into your life and allow them to build a foundational sense of safety and grounding in your day to day. I hope they hold you as you release control, embrace your imperfections, and devote your heart to your life. I really hope that they are nourishing and connect you to the true essence of Virgo energy, being that earth goddess. If you have any reflections or intentions revealed to you from this work that you want to share, I would absolutely love to hear. Again, details on Substack about the questions and everything that we just went through. And if you have interest in doing ceremonies and rituals kind of like this together, please join the waitlist to be the first to know about all the things happening in the space in person. If you're new here, I'm opening Intuitively Wild IRL in upstate New York, and I'm so excited. It's coming very, very, very soon. And it will be a ceremonial space, apothecary, and studio for connection. So we will be having very, very, very regular rituals and ceremonies that we are doing together that you can do by yourself. This is truly my dream come true, and I just can't wait to sit in ceremony with you in this ceremonial space that will be for all of us. So if you want more details on that, the wait list is below. But I'm so grateful for you all. I hope that this Virgo season treats you well and that you just lean into all the magic that is around us right now. Okay. Oh, and if there are any questions that came from this, any thoughts, reflections, any promises that you want to share with me that you made, I would truly, truly be so honored to hear. So please reach out to me. And with that, I will see you all next time for more magic. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Intuitively Wild, the podcast. I hope it helped deepen your connection to yourself, sparked some insights, and inspired you to live intuitively wild. If you enjoyed this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you would share it with others and leave a rating and review. And please reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. I will see you next time for more magic.